This is going to be Ismael Bonfim versus Vinc Pichel from Hell. Ismael Bonfim, obviously 19-4, 4-1 his last five. He's coming off of that. Pretty, he lost pretty. It was a pretty entertaining loss, nonetheless. But he still lost against Benoit Saint Denis, 24, 7 years old, so kind of in his prime of his career. Maybe a few more years, then he'll be in his prime. Vinc Pichel, obviously not in his prime. 40 years old, 14-3. He is surprisingly 3-2 in his last five. He's all coming off of that kind of decision loss against Marc Omanson, though, so not the greatest loss to have on your record. Their measurables, Vince is going to be the larger fighter here, two inch height advantage, 1 inch reach advantage. Odds for this fight, they have kind of ballooned. Ismael Bonfim is opened at minus 325. Now he's at minus 465. So people are just going in on the Ismael Bonfim train here. And I don't blame them. I mean, Ismael, as you saw with his last fight, wild striker, has legitimate power, looks for the KOs with his strikes. I think he does have accurate striking and can attack with multiple angles. He has pretty dangerous looping shots and can even throw in the knees and the flying knees like you saw when he knocked out Terrence McKinney. I think he has decent Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but he can get caught in a sub with his aggressive style, as you saw with the last fight, right? Can tire himself chasing finishes and get sloppy with his footwork. All four of his losses have been subs, like Benoit Saint Denis subbed him. I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue for this fight, though, because I think, from Hell Pichel, he is a solid striker, but not the most technical guy. I also think that he's a bit of a brawler himself. Good offensive wrestler, but bad defensive wrestler. He has 3 takedowns per 15 minutes, 54% takedown and accuracy, but he has a 23% takedown defense. So not the best defense for his takedowns. He has a good chin. He's only been knocked out once, and he's really only seemed to have lost to high-level wrestlers, grapplers. You're talking about Marco Manson, this Olympic Canadian wrestler, I believe, and then Gregor Gillespie, obviously, I think pretty good wrestling credentials as well. Yeah, I mean, just give me Ismail here. I think this is a buy low. I know that people think that Vince might have a chance just because, I mean, 14-3. That's not that bad of a record, right? But I mean, he's 40 years old. I, I don't know how much longer he can do this. And just looking at his last few fights, I mean, not the most impressive kind of, victories or even losses. Like his last fight was about a year and a half ago to Marco Manson. That's not that great of a look. And I think that Ismail, the only concern I have for Ismail is that if he makes this into a brawl kind of matchup where they're trading shots, then it turns closer into a 50-50 kind of matchup, right? But I think that, especially coming off of that L against Benoit Saint Denis, where he was kind of doing the same thing, right? He was letting Benoit just pretty much like kick him in the body. And I think he's going to be a little smarter this time, especially in Brazil. I think he's going to want to secure this dub. I think he knows that the UFC probably put this guy in front of him just so he can kind of get a dub, right, and get his career back on track. Um, yeah, just give me Ismail Bonfim here. I think that Ismail by decision, just because Vince is pretty durable, but I could also see Ismail by sub. I think that he could probably sub this guy too. So pick now is Ismail by decision. I think he's a potential parlay piece. I'm not quite ready to say he's a lock yet, just because he's a really wild striker and is a little too aggressive for me. Like I think that if he was more patient like his brother, then this would be a lock. But I think that yeah, for now, Ismail is a potential parlay piece for me. Gerard, what are your thoughts on this Bonfim versus Pichel here?
Bonfim, he should win this. I mean, he's going up against a over 40-year-old Pichel from hell who damn near looks 60 to me. Uh, but Pichel, it's kind of a looks can be kind of deceiving because Pichel's giving me he's really tough. He's a tough guy. He's giving me these vibes of Darren the Damage Elkins type of type of toughness. And Pichel, he doesn't have the damage, but he's from hell.
Yeah.
So he might give Bonfim some hell if Bonfim is rushing too much. I think it might be a bad sign if Bonfim we see Bonfim rushing again, like rushing the fight and getting a little sloppy. He finds himself in. But against this guy, this should be a kind of a layup for Bonfim because even if it goes to a decision, I don't think the judges they don't see Pichel striking that clean. So
Mhm.
even if he connects, they don't really value the way Pichel strikes. So Bonfim could is likely to win if it goes to a decision or if Bonfim can find a finish. But Pichel's a tough guy here. So obviously the pick is a medium confidence on Bonfim, with a caveat that this could be a pick 'em if he rushes,
Yeah.
but he should be smarter than to do that again. So one thing that I might play here is I think Pichel's a tough guy. I think he'll like the damage Elkins, he'll probably be able to last. So here I'm actually looking at the over 2.5
Ooh.
Pichel versus Bonfim. I don't know if Bonfim can finish him because Pichel's a tough guy. He may be slower now at 41, but I think this could go over 2.5. It might even go to a decision, but I'm leaning Bonfim, but I might play a little bit on the over 2.5 here.
Would you put Ismael as a parlay piece just straight up as money line?
Straight up as money line. I think I would, yeah. He he would be a parlay piece, but it's kind of hard to say because Pichel might there might be some upset potential here for
Hmm.
Pichel, and I get more and more suspicious if I see Bonfim's odds keep going higher and higher. So as long as Bonfim's odds don't go crazy high, I'm pretty okay with parlaying Bonfim here.